By now, you all know 2K put out a lot of NBA 2K26 builder information, man. And they respond to some comments as well as some questions along the way. What I'm going to do is summarize everything. Just compress everything, remove all the fluff, because I see a lot of y'all confused. Y'all going back to NBA 2K25 builder. Trust me, y'all wasting y'all time. So we got a lot of info for y'all, of course. So without further ado, I need y'all to grab yourself that brew and let's get to the video.
If you don't know, it's brutal sim on the scene, wicked and mean. With the next video, one is YouTube thing. We got 2K news and rumors. Don't forget the tutorials and tips. Turn your MyPLAYER to a bad man and rule the sticks. No matter the mode, record or park, even MyCAREER boot will get you a good start. Hit the like button, don't forget the notifications. Comment down below and welcome to the Brute Squad Nation.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna skip the intro, of course, because we got a lot we gotta dive into right here. Because I see a lot of y'all going back to the NBA 2K25 builder, and trust me, the way y'all creating the NBA 2K25 builder won't work, because there's a lot of factors that come into how your player moves and feels. And these builds might not necessarily do the same thing in the game. A lot of stuff are just different. How the attributes are applied might look the same, but how the dribble moves you have access to is probably going to be different. The layup package is going to be different. The dunk animations might be different. There are a lot of different facets to the game that goes into your build moving and feeling a certain way. But anyways, we got a lot we got to speak on, of course, so let's get into this info, because NBA 2K26 pretty much is around the corner, right? And the MyPLAYER Builder just got one of the biggest overhaul we've seen in years, in my opinion. Of course, you could disagree, that's up to you, but I'm just giving my opinion in this video. We're talking about the build specialization. We're talking about a more impactful cap breaker system, a new rebirth tiers or new rebirth system, custom takeovers, deep changes that will completely change how you make your player. Let's break down every new feature so you can hit the court with a perfect build day one. And you know we're gonna be out there grinding and trying to figure out these builds on day one. We don't play that. So we're gonna start off, of course, with the build specialization system. This is actually a brand new system that lets you choose one skill area to master per se. I'm talking about finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, or rebound. Each specialization comes with 9 unique quests designed to test your ability in that area. For example, if you pick shooting, your second quest might be to make 100 threes or 100 mid-range shots. Completing these quests gives you rewards, skill boosts, exclusive gear, new archetype names, and here's a big one right here, a permanent max +1, and not just a max +1 or even a max +2 badge perk for that category. You also unlock cap breakers specific to that chosen specialization, letting you push your attributes to even higher heights in that area. And yes, you could actually do these quests in either MyCAREER or multiplayer modes, because MyQueen actually clarified that a few days after, of course. You could actually grind however you want and prefer. You don't necessarily have to deal with these randoms that stress us out on a daily basis. Or who knows, you might be the random, y'all. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. Let's talk about the cap breakers for a little bit, of course. So the cap breakers has actually evolved from NBA 2K25, which already telling you that the builds will move different. In NBA 2K25, each had one boost, right? One attribute boost, and that was a big deal. But in NBA 2K26, yeah, the highest rating one's gonna still have that one boost, but the lower rated attributes, man, they're gonna have massive jumps and massive boosts, man, up to double digits. I even saw in the footage you were getting up to 14 and even up to 15 in some cases, y'all. That's crazy work. So imagine what I could do with some of my builds with that one when I go into the lab. Come on, my G, this is a gold mine for 2K when you really think about it, y'all. I just gotta be honest. But there are actually rules to it. A single attribute can only get 5 cap breakers total. You can't exceed your build's height, weight, and wingspan limits, and you must fully max your attribute category before applying the cap breaker, which is the same rule from NBA 2K25, by the way. The cap breakers you earn through build specialization must be applied within that category or certain physicals. For example, a shooting cap breaker can go to your 3-pointer, your mid-range, free throw, and even your speed, agility, strength, or vertical. So that does make some sense, especially if you're doing it through build specialization, by the way. Let's be honest, it does make a lot of sense. So let's look at custom takeovers. There are also some changes to the takeover system as well, man, because this year they actually made it more strategic than we see in a while. You could actually target up to 3 attributes, but the fewer you pick, the bigger the boost, man. You could actually focus on one and get a huge boost. Now, I ain't gonna front with y'all. This is taking me back to my 0.4 days when your boy was running that playmaking takeover. So I might go back to that, y'all. Who knows what I'm gonna do? But it sounds like I gotta test that out. Now, that's not it. Once you unlock Custom Takeover, you have 3 different layouts to edit and swap between games. I don't know if during the intermission or you have to step off the court. They said between games. They didn't get too specific with that information, by the way. And here's the kicker though. You could actually boost any non-physical attribute no matter your current rating. Now that's non-physical attribute. So you can't necessarily boost speed, agility, strength, or vertical. So those you cannot necessarily boost, but everything else you could actually boost, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how we manipulate that system. Now we also got some more information on the badge system and the max plus 2 perk. That's the game changer right there. The badge system from NBA 2K25 with 40 impactful badges is returning because it actually worked, right? But the focus in NBA 2K26 is improving how badges interact with your build with features like max plus 2s and new badge perks that push them actually beyond their max potential. Those max plus 2 badge perks you earn from build specialization are actually permanent. Believe it or not, they're all permanent once you unlock them. And you can actually use them on any saves as long as you complete the specialization part. So that's actually a next huge deal right there. So you can't tell me this max plus 2 alone is not a game changer. Imagine that. It's permanent. That's a huge deal because even the max plus 1, damn near every season we have to go back and use it again. It was annoying, y'all. It was annoying as hell. But now we're getting up to max plus 2s. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, y'all. I could see my build right now, 6'8" PG going crazy, but that's neither here nor there. But let's dive into some Rebirth changes as well because they're definitely gonna get a good bag off of this. If you ask your boy Brute, 2K, this is genius on your part. And I know people in the 2K community is going to appreciate it. The Rebirth system is now tiered. At 90 overall, you unlock the Silver Rebirth, instantly giving any new build the highest overall you reach, plus 10% faster badge progression. At 95 overall, you unlock Gold, Hall of Fame, and Legend tiers, which automatically upgrade your badges to match your level when you meet the attribute requirements. So you could literally get up to legendary badges. So you all know what it is. Right now, people are just going to be buying new builds and maxing out everything without wasting any time grinding, which is what the community been asking for. I'm not necessarily one of the people that like this, but it's not about me. So I got to live within your world sometime, and it is what it is. I'm not going to stress up that. It's just a video game, man. It is what it is, y'all. But anyways, let's go to how they actually rework the attributes as well. So this is according to Mike Wayne. The attributes have been reworked a little bit, by the way, and how they interconnect, right? For example, your speed with ball can't be higher than your speed anymore, but it could have in NBA 2K25 within certain ranges, of course. And raising close shot will also raise driving layup. This adds balance to the builder and forces smarter attribute allocation. But this is until we spend some time into the lab and start to manipulate the system, y'all. Trust me, we gonna figure this out. I'm not worried about nothing they say with this builder. So that's pretty much it. The one thing Mike Wong also highlighted that they are gonna loosen up some of the restrictions for some of the taller builds, like release some of the layout packages, and not just layout packages, right? Different SIGs and dribble moves as well will be available to taller builds that wasn't available in years past. So that in itself telling you, even if you go back in NBA 2K25 and recreate that build, we still won't truly understand how this build will impact your game or your playstyle. We don't even know the badge thresholds, and those greatly impact how your build even moves and feels. For example, we don't know the thresholds for the lightning launch or even posterizer badge, and those are just 2 examples. Imagine if they revamp all the thresholds to the badge requirements as well. That information is more important than anything else. I'm just saying, a lot of y'all going back to NBA 2K25, y'all basically wasting your time because we don't even understand how we're gonna create our builds going forward based on the thresholds they're gonna give us. And this is basic information. Just if you spend any time in the builder or like to create your build based on some things you want from your builds, you can't necessarily go in a builder and create it without that needed information. That's all I got to say about that. So y'all could go ahead, do your thing, go back to NBA 2K25. But boy, Brute, personally think you're wasting your time with the information we have so far. And let's not forget, they already added a few different ways for y'all to create builds. They already added that you could go in there and select the badge requirements to help in you creating your build. And not only that, what player ability you want as well. So all these added tools is going to make you create better builds in NBA 2K26 versus NBA 2K25. No disrespect, I understand that y'all excited for NBA 2K26 and the new building system, and they're saying everything we want to hear, but it's always a wait and see, y'all. It's always a wait and see at the end of the day. But let me know your thoughts on all the info y'all receive about the new NBA 2K26 builder and what might be your first build for NBA 2K26. Me personally, I'm going with one of the tallest point guards. The shortest I might put my point guard out there for NBA 2K26 might be 6'7". If they give me a 6'8", I'm probably going 6'8". Last year I said the same thing, then I fold. This year I'm not folding. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm going back to NBA 2K19.4 route, especially with this custom takeover and these max plus 2s. So yeah, I could definitely make an all-around build at the end of the day. I will have to lab a lot, y'all, to try to figure it out. But of course, y'all gonna be with me day one. That's why I usually spend my first day trying to figure out and break that builder. Me and the Bruce squad, we in there, y'all. But anyways, man, let me know your thoughts. Of course, till next time, all bless me. Safe out there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The notification bell is free and key. Peace.